Well, welcome everybody to the Get Healthy webinar this week. And I am so excited to have such a vivacious and lively woman with us. She's a master strategist with marketing, Joy Houston. She's the owner and founder of healatscale.com. And today we're going to be talking about lab funnels that actually work. So, in order to attract the ideal client, boost your practice revenue, Joy has come to share what she knows in the industry works. So, Joy, I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for joining us.
My absolute pleasure. It's always fun to find something that's working really well in our mastermind community and with our private agency clients, and then get to share it out in the world so that more practitioners can put it into play. I love that.
Yeah, I love that too. And, when I came to Get Healthy, I actually found that simplifying my process, having everything in one place, and kind of becoming my wellness Amazon store for my clients and even people that follow me that weren't even in my care, prospects, as you call them, it really revolutionized my practice. And I always joke with Joy, I tell her I'm a hack at best. And I don't think she believed me until she put me to the test a few weeks ago. And she's like, well, you're really new. I was like, yes, I am. So, I just want everyone to find comfort in the fact that we're all new to this amazing process that she had,
Yeah.
that every practice should know about if they truly want to acquire new clients and create revenue, alternative revenue streams, so that they do have time to grow. So I just want to start off, Joy, with showing them the upgraded feature that we just released
Yes.
on the Get Healthy store, and then I'm going to
Yep.
sit out and I'm going to let you show them what to do with it. Okay? So
Okay, as she's showing this, you guys, I want you to keep in mind that we're about to be able to monetize exactly what she's showing you. Okay, so pay attention, get your pencil out, like write this down, because what she's showing you on the tech advantage side of what Get Healthy Store can do with you, I'm going to show you how to monetize that. So if you like more money, and all of you should because you're worthy of it, I am of the belief that practitioners are more worthy of abundance than any other job ever in the world, because without our health we can't do what we want to do. Okay, so I want to help you guys monetize this awesome new feature that you're going to see. Okay, so even if you don't like tech, pay attention, because I know that you like money and I know you deserve it.
Amen. Okay, let's go. So, what we released this morning was actually a marketplace for you. And I want to start by saying if you have not connected your Evexia account to your Get Healthy store, that is your first priority. That's your first call to action here today. That feature we have had now for a year. So if you have an account with Evexia, which is a marketplace for diagnostic testing, including blood serum and specialty, please go to the Evexia portal, integrations, choose the EHR, and then connect it to your Get Healthy store. And that is done automatically, including your custom panels that you've built over there. Out of the thousands of stores that we only have about 100 accounts that have connected. We need more because what you're going to see today, you can't do this without the connection. So first, I want to show you that we have created you a new navigation tab, which some of you may had from catalog testing called testing. And what we have done for you is allowed you to expose your Evexia tests on the front of your store now, which is amazing because now what Joy is going to teach you today is how to lead people to this purchase and all of the nurturing behind it that will lead to either more clients in your chair, more revenue in your pocket, and more product sales. So it's a complete follow through workflow, not even that difficult to do because we've set up the tech. She has the brilliance, and the combination is going to be amazing. So, how does this all work? Well, it's very simple. You will see in your clinical admin under your catalog tab. Now, mine is a beta testing store, so you don't have all this fancy schmancy, but a little sneak peek of everything that's coming. You're going to have this tab. It says Lab Test Beta. And in that, you will be able to see all 2,800 plus lab tests that are available in Evexia Diagnostics that you now have the ability to expose or make visible on the front of the store, including your test panels, including specialty tests like Dutch, GI map, you name it, you can do it. And it is simple as finding the test that you want. So let's just go to, um, let me see. Let's do Boston Heart Diagnostics. Apply. You'll notice all these new keys. Very simple. You can also find out what's in your store, what's not in your store, so on and so forth. I'm actually going to go to Precision Labs because, let's do Hygienics. I like Hygienics. These are specific Lyme tests. So if you are Lyme specific, I can just pick any one of these tests now, and I can hit these three dots and show on storefront. Now, what's going to happen is in a few minutes when this indexes, this is going to show up underneath my all testing tab, and I will be able to sell this test on the front end. Now, how does this all connect? Well, the exact same way if you would script it, it will not only collect the information of the patient on the front at the cart level, but it's also going to create an Evexia profile for your patient under your portal, or if the patient already has that, it'll create the requisition underneath their profile. That's how smart our tech is. Second, it will pull the results back in for your patient here in their profile under lab results. And it also pulls your lab results here under your patient tab. So we have done a full 360 connection. We have figured out how to send over the requisition to the client and also gather the lab tests. All of this is available. Whatever you want to expose on your store now is yours to do so. And so you can have this full marketplace. You can talk to people about testing. You can do webinars about them. And Joy's going to teach you how to use this as a lead funnel, which is going to be amazing. So all of this now is at your fingertips. I just wanted to show you quickly that that is available. You log into your admin. There is going to be that new drop down. You can expose whatever tests you want, just search for them either by lab or even by condition, and you can expose the tests that you want on the front end. All full details are also included. Now, if this is, let's see the Dutch test. Let me just look that up because I want to show you what is all pulled through. So this is the Dutch Complete. I use this a lot in my practice. You will see that all the details actually get pulled through automatically. You don't have to do anything. This is fully automated. But if you want to say something about this test, if you want to put some details in, if you want to add a video, you can go and talk to George back here in your clinical admin and request that you can update a product page. Again, profile, filling out, so simple. That is my birthday if you want to write that down. And adding to cart. Right there, you have it, guys. This is happening. And my Dutch Complete is in ready for checkout. So instantaneous gratification, which is what the world wants, right, Joy? And an easy way back to. So any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. But Joy, I'm going to step back a little bit. I know we went through this all yesterday and you kind of have a grasp, but really we're here to learn. This is a great feature, right? Like I can send people a link to my store and be like, hey, get the Dutch test. Or I can acquire new clients, new patients, new people who follow me that aren't in my care, prospects, with your system that is pretty amazing. So I'm going to let you introduce yourself to our audience, and I'm going to step back and let you go.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's make sure that we take care of everybody who's here. So, April Martinez, thank you for your question. Does the basic plan with Get Healthy allow us to have videos? So, I'm assuming that you mean, April, on your page. So, if we wanted to send someone directly to a Get Healthy store page, a promo page, right, for a specific, let's use the Dutch Complete because we just looked at that one. Okay. So, if we have that page, are you allowed to add any additional beliefs that you have about the Dutch Complete? Are you allowed to put a video on there? So, Tracey, will you confirm for her if the basic plan allows them to embed videos?
I actually am going to say yes. I let anybody do anything.
Yes. Okay, great. I love it. This is
I
great.
don't want to ever be the sales. I don't want to be the sales prevention team.
Yes.
So
Okay,
yes, if
awesome.
you have the basic package, we can add some things, especially for this launch. I want you guys to be widely successful. So I'm going to say any package we will put a video in, but you have to
Yeah.
provide.
Okay, perfect. All right, April, hopefully that takes care of your question. She's saying awesome, that does. All right, for anyone who's on the webinar with us live, if you're watching the recording later, just think through this yourself. I would like you to let me know in chat, are you only interested in growing your one-on-one clientele, or are you also interested in attracting people that you would work with at scale? The examples of this would be like a group program, a community detox, like putting people in what we would call in the marketing world a live rolling evergreen offer. All right, Tracey, I'm impressed with your audience. Okay, great. One of the things that I founded Heal at Scale for is because after helping, people like JJ Virgin and Chris Kresser and Sarah Gottfried and Daniel and all these big names in the health space, I had a health breakdown of my own. Luckily, I was working with Sarah Gottfried on the hormone reset diet book at the time. And because I was consumed in this hormonal conversation from doing the marketing and business development on the back end of that book, I realized it was my hormones, right? Otherwise, it might have just went way over my head. So I found a functional medicine doctor locally. Her name is Brooke. She's amazing. We're still friends to this day. And 3 months into her getting me all better, saving my marriage, I'm sure, because I was a hormonal mess, let me tell you, okay? She looked so bad at my 3-month follow-up that I had to inquire, what the heck is going on? What's going on here? You don't look the same. And she let me know she was paying herself less than she was paying the MA in her clinic. And she was just frustrated. And she was like, man, I am really good at the medical side of this. And I am really bad at marketing, business strategy, putting offers together. Like, I really don't know what I'm doing. And I said, wow, today is your lucky day. Like, of course, she didn't know what I did. She didn't know, that I had a history in health business strategy on the back end of health books and creating products and private label supplements and all of the group programs. She didn't know any of that. Yeah, she didn't like it. And also the selling. I totally hear you, Linda. Yeah, she says, I don't like the marketing piece. I certainly don't like the selling piece. And I get that, you guys. We grow up in a culture where, when we were little kids, it was like, well, your mom takes you to the doctor because you had an ear infection or because you broke your arm or whatever. So many people who go into health go into it because they want to be a healer, right? But they're not necessarily aware of how much hustling it can take when you are an entrepreneur. And that's what all of you guys are. Like, unless you got a job at Kaiser or you're working at someone else's clinic, welcome to being an entrepreneur. You are both a medical healer capable of getting us better, but you're also a business person. And there are many aspects that unfortunately don't get given to you guys in sort of what I consider like a Lego set. The way that I like to support health entrepreneurs with marketing is I like to think of it like I want to give you a Lego set. Like, oh, today you want to build the Death Star? Let's build the Death Star, okay? Today we want to build an X-Wing fighter? Let's build an X-Wing fighter, okay? So what I'm going to talk to you about today is my favorite high converting Lego set for marketing, okay? I want to explain to you in general how it works, and then I'm going to walk you through some examples so you can see it yourself, and then we're going to land this plane together by showing you how this ties in to GetHealthy store. Because when I teach this to practitioners, they love it. They start making money right away. It actually motivates them to do marketing. That's what I love the most about this. It's like an upward spiral that pays you to do your marketing, okay? So they love it, but there's one little glitch that makes them cry in the shower when they try to set it up, right? And that is the technical sort of infrastructure that needs to happen between the marketing Lego set that I'm about to give you, okay? This marketing Lego set at some point needs to intersect with being able to order the labs. Okay. Now, the people who are not technically challenged will just be like, oh, joy, that's no problem. If I get 100 labs in a day, I'm going to export that CSV file of all the orders, names, addresses, patients' birthdays, everything that we would need to then upload to the lab and have the lab send those orders. Okay. The people who are technically frustrated by that kind of thing they get very intimidated. Okay. So they're doing one of two things. They're either crying in the shower, trying to figure out how to upload the CSV file, or They're manually inputting the high volume of lab test orders they're getting from the process we're about to go through. Okay. Get Healthy Store has solved that problem. If your orders happen, if your lab test orders, and you're going to see what I'm talking about with lab test orders, if this high volume of lab test orders starts happening to you the way that it happens for my clients, it's already integrated. So when the test is ordered, it's happening through your Get Healthy store. The integration through Evexia is auto magically happening in the back end because Get Healthy store and Evexia have created essential like a Zapier. It's like just getting their system and Avexia's ordering system to talk together and to work seamlessly so that your people, anybody who orders a lab test with you, it's just gonna arrive. Let's say that it was let's say it's a GI map. Well, the little box with the GI map thing is gonna land at their house, right? And they're off to the races and you don't have to think about it at all. It's auto magically happening in the background, okay? So the most intimidating part of what I'm gonna ask you to do or ask you to consider doing for your practice today, I just want you to relax and enjoy your coffee or tea or matcha, whatever you're drinking with us this morning, okay? And I want you to know that they've covered the hard part for you. Okay, so with that, I'm going to explain to you exactly what I'm asking practitioners to do and how this has revolutionized the profitability of practices large and small. So my giant clients, my private clients who have multi-million-dollar businesses a year, all the way down to the people who are doing cartwheels because they've just hit 20K a month, right? Like this whole spectrum of practitioners are thrilled at how this is working. So I'm going to walk you through and show you exactly how this works. Okay. I'm going to switch over to my iPad so I can draw and make sure you guys understand how to do this. Okay. You guys know who I am. I'm not going to give you a bunch of spiel because I want to like really get laser focused with your time. If you want to know about me and my team and what we can do for you, you can check that out over at healatscale.com. You'll get to see stories of many, many, many clients, many that you recognize because they have big names. You see them on TV and we've helped them get books and products and that kind of thing. But I also want you to know that where my heart has gone since my own practitioner had a challenge is bringing what we've done for them to hometown health heroes like you, okay? The whole goal is that you spend more time healing and less time hustling. That's what I want for you, all right? So this is a process, like I said, that has been working like gangbusters for both my private high-end clients and all of the practitioners in my mastermind, okay? So we're bringing that in front of you because I totally understand how come you guys are struggling with your marketing. First of all, I know most of you guys don't love marketing and sales is not your favorite. We even saw that in chat, right? Linda was sharing with us, yeah, you don't like the marketing and you certainly don't like the quote unquote selling. But again, unless we're going to stay in the conventional medicine plus insurance model, people aren't just going to show up at our door because we're locally covered by their insurance and they want someone in the neighborhood. That's not going to happen for us. So we all have to commit to the fact that, well, yes, I'm not only doing the health piece of what I do, I'm also doing the sales, the marketing, and understanding my numbers so that I can get to the point where I have maximum abundance from what I love doing. Okay. The good news about that, you guys, is once you get a few systems in place, those plates continue to spin for you and bring money and people into your business year after year. Okay. So it is a bit of an uphill climb with certain marketing and strategy things. And I'll be honest with you, which ones are a 1 on simplicity and which ones are a level 10 difficulty. This one is an easy one. Okay. The one we're going to talk about today. Okay. So obviously, guys know the challenges. I don't have to really go through these today, but I'm sure that many of you are noticing that it can be really difficult to get some traction in the space, right? If you're relying on referrals, that's great, but they're completely unpredictable, okay? If you're putting free content out in the marketplace, you're noticing that there's tons of other people who are doing that too, okay? You might be spending money on marketing, but if it's not converting for you, that gets super, super frustrating. And the worst piece that I see is some people just don't have a system at all. They're just like willy-nilly trying to figure it out, throwing spaghetti at the wall. They're not measuring what they're doing. doing. And of course, that's going to end up being really frustrated. Okay. So what I want to show you today is something that I consider a self-funding client attraction strategy. And in terms of the funding, like where is the money coming from to pay yourself? You're going to see exactly how we can use a lab with an education and resource fee added to reimburse you for your efforts in marketing, okay? And that can end up being the self-funding marketing piece here, okay? So that's what we're up to do. I consider it like the best way for you to offer an upfront lab, okay? So that you can filter for people who are interested in being cash pay clients, okay? Because you guys, not everybody realizes, all right? We need to be realistic about this. People can see you on social media, okay? Or email or blog or a podcast that you speak on, and they can be completely unaware that function, precisional, integrative medicine, like all the things that you guys love are just not going to be covered, and they're going to have to come cash out of pocket. So we've got a double, we've got a double dose of marketing effort that we have to get through. One, we need to make sure that they are aware of the problem that we can help them solve. And then two, we need to make it clear that this is a cash out of pocket, access to healthcare. This is not covered by your insurance. So we've really got to kind of get over a bigger mountain than other people do. Okay. All right. So this is all about getting you cash pay clients. So having a marketing conversation that intentionally attracts cash pay clients. And there's a 3-step process to getting it done, you guys. So let me walk you through each of them. The first step is that we are going to have a symptoms-based content strategy. Okay. So that means we're not going to lead with the diagnosis. We're not going to lead with a bunch of medical jargon. We're actually going to ask ourselves, if they looked in the mirror, if they assessed their body, okay, then what would they say about how they feel, about how they look, right? We want to be having symptoms-based conversation in kitchen table language, and that's how we'll be starting our content, okay? And then you get to be the amazing genius that connects the dots between, hey, you know what, these symptoms that we're going to talk about in kitchen table language, a great example of this, you guys, is we might say a woman experienced a cessation of menses, okay? But what she's saying to her best friend is, my period has disappeared. Okay. So that's what I'm talking about. We need to get down to kitchen table language and talk about their symptoms. And then we need to be the expert that turns the lights on and helps them connect the dots between that symptom could be a function of this system of the body needing a little bit of investigation. Okay. So in that case, the woman whose period has disappeared, right? It might be time for us to connect the dots for her. Hey, there may be nothing going on, but we do need to take a peek at your hormones and see what's going on, okay? Then we can give them the opportunity to access, let's say, the Dutch Complete, right? Hey, I'm going to give you access to the test that I love for my clients who are experiencing these types of symptoms. Okay, so now we're going to give them access to the leading science. These are the advanced functional precision testing, right? That we want to give them access to. Okay. We can also give them access to simple things, you guys, like a blood test. We're just going to name that particular panel that we have in a unique way that makes it more attractive to the client. Okay. And then once we have given them access to the test, then we get to show up as the smart practitioner who can position solutions in front of them. Okay. And then they can choose which one of those solutions are best for them. And it makes the sales process into working with you more like an invitation. Hey, we're on this call together. I'm going to tell you the things that need to be handled in order to put this problem in the rearview mirror. Since we're on this call together, I'm going to let you know how you can do that with me. And then you can position the solutions that you have for them right in front of them. So for the people in my world, the people in my mastermind, all of them end up having 3 possible solutions, right? You pay the high end price to work with me one-on-one. You're in my live rolling evergreen program, which has weekly calls. So access to me, they access my protocols. And then I keep like an invisible third option. I don't market the third option because it's less expensive and I want to keep the perceived value of your brand high. So it goes high-end one-on-one, live rolling evergreen group program. And rolling evergreen, you guys, just means people can start whenever they find you, okay? And then the third one is for anybody who can't afford the top two. Okay, so they can't afford to work with us one-on-one and they can't swing the live rolling evergreen group program. Let's give them access to a DIY course. And honestly, the DIY course is simply a recorded version of the live rolling evergreen. Okay, so in other words, they get access to the course material, the content, whether it's videos, workbooks, but they don't have access to you, to the live calls. And we can offer that for the least expensive because it doesn't take any of our time. We've already built it for the live group program. Okay, so that's the overarching thing that we're going to put out in the market. We're going to have symptoms-based conversation. We're going to invite them to get access to the leading science, the test that you trust. And then with those results in hand, we're going to present solutions, and then they'll have different ways of working with you. Okay. So I'm going to cut to the chase here. There's a lot that you need to get into in each of these as you dive into the process of presenting symptoms-based conversation, inviting them to the science, right? There is an art form to this. We're not going to get in the weeds on the art form today because I'm more focused on you understanding the basics and exactly how this is going to tie in to your GetHealthy store, okay? So I want to make sure you understand why I'm going to ask you to do this, okay? In the traditional approach, the traditional way that you guys do things, what tends to happen is this. You start with your marketing, okay? And anybody who you can engage, you end up having a sales conversation with, and then you enroll them into working with you. And once they're enrolled in working with you, now you might be ordering testing and putting them on your protocols and you're off to the races, okay? So if you want to think about this in terms of volume, actually, let me show you something. This image might make it simpler here. Okay, so this is the typical flow of what happens. Okay, you guys try to attract people, you nurture them, get them on the call, enroll them, and then you start delivering your services. At that point, labs are being ordered. Okay, this is a very small number of tests as compared to the way that I'm going to ask you to do it. Okay. The way that I'm going to ask you to do it is I'm going to ask you to attract people with that symptoms-based content that we just talked about in kitchen table language. And from there, we're actually going to ask them to make a small investment in an upfront lab. Okay. Small investment in an upfront lab. The reason that this is converting like hotcakes is because you are doing all of this work right here. Okay, so we just saw you do all of this work. Okay, and you're going to enroll a very small number of people to be ordering these tests. In this scenario, we're up at the top where you can see at the top of our marketing, there's always what they call this top of funnel marketing, right? Up here, there's always a lot of people, and then there's less people who make their way down to the bottom, say yes to working with you, you're ordering the labs, and now your guys are working together, okay? What I want to do is way up here at the top of the funnel where there are lots of people who will be seeing your content is let's go ahead and invite them in, acknowledge their problems, and let's ask them to self-identify as someone who is willing to come cash out of pocket to solve their problems. They're that committed, okay? We're going to get that initial sale, which is going to have an education and resource fee, okay? So we're going to just do this education and resource fee, okay? On top of the lab, okay? So now you are selling the lab instead of waiting down here, you're selling the lab right here, which is pre-qualifying that prospect, okay? Now they have their lab test. They've seen some content from you. You guys have this gorgeous sweet spot. I'll talk about that in a minute. But now that they've pre-qualified themselves as a cash pay client, now when we go to enroll them, it's much, much easier because they've already seen you deliver some supportive information around the lab test that they ordered. And when you actually get them on the call to enroll, if you have to do a call, some people don't even do a call. They'll just enroll automatically using a button inside your lab test funnel, okay? That way you're having sales conversations with people who have already identified as committed to solving the problem with cash money out of their own pocket rather than insurance. And they're already familiar with you because there's this golden time between I want you guys to see one of these examples, but I want to make sure that you understand that there's like a sweet spot, you guys. if someone says, yes, I do have those symptoms and I want the test that you're talking about that you use for your clients, okay? That at that moment in time, when they say yes, this golden hour of marketing opportunity opens up between when they order and when that test result comes back. Right? So they've invested in the test. You get to show up and say, oh my gosh, you're so smart for ordering this test. Let me show you how to take the test. Okay. And then while you're waiting for the results, I want you to feel confident that no matter what we find, we're going to get through this. So I'm going to give you 3 helpful tips that are going to help you while you're waiting for the test results. So after the sample, because we don't want to mess with their baseline result, we want them to submit the sample, get the blood test, poop in the tube, whatever they need to do, all the things to get the test ordered, okay? And then once they've done that, we can provide 3 very helpful videos that are an appetizer is a good way to think of them. They're an appetizer of the areas of work that they would have to do with you in order to put this problem in the rearview mirror. Okay. So for example, if you're doing hormones, you might be, right, Tracey? If you're doing hormones, you might have a tip on, hey, here's one thing that we can do to stop hormones, stop your hormones from being dysregulated 24 hours a day. And let's say you give them an example of, hey, why don't you throw out the Tide Pods and start using Branch Basics or some healthy brand that you love. And then we know that's going to stop hormone disruption 24 hours a day because you sleep in your sheets at night. And unless you're a nudist, you wear clothes during the day. All of that stuff has chemical laden detergent on it unless you make a smarter choice, right? And this is just one step that we do to stop you being exposed from the many things that can mess with your hormones. Okay, so can you see how that would be one little appetizer, just one little tip, but it's an appetizer of all the work that we might teach them to do later to get themselves out of harm's way by being hyper exposed to too many things that are messing with their hormones, right? Then you might also teach them, hey, because your hormone precursors are made in the gut, we also need to address your gut health in order for any hormone work we're doing together to be optimized. And then you're going to give them one gut health tip, right? And maybe their metabolics is at play here, right? They're consuming too much sugar. That's messing with their metabolics, which is messing with their hormones. So you might give them one metabolic tip. So if when they work with you, they're going to cover detox and exposure strategies, they're going to cover hormone balancing strategies, and they're going to have to address their gut or their metabolics or whatever you believe that you want to teach. If you're going to give them one little appetizer for the big meal that is coming later when they work with you, it's already got them, you're already sort of starting to brainwash them on the protocols that they're going to have to be living if they become your client, right? If they become a patient or a coaching client. Okay. So what happens is they order the lab, they get interested because you help them connect the dots between the symptoms they have and the system of the body that needs examined, okay? When they say yes to that, they get in and they get content from you, very strategic content, right? Because we want to show them how to take the test so they get a great result and they feel like they're a bestie. Like they see you in the video telling them how to take the test, then they're going to feel closer to you because you helped them do it right. Then they get these little 3 appetizers of what it's like to work with you. And then we do a lab explanation video, which is you showing off your smarts about each indicator on the lab and revealing stories for them of like, hey, when this particular range was high, women tend to complain of this. When it's low, here's what they share with me. When you're doing that particular video, you guys, what you're doing is showing off your knowledge by talking about the indicators on the test, but you're already looping them in because when they hear stories of other people, then they can self-identify. Oh, that one sounds like me. Oh, no, I don't have that problem. Oh yeah, that one also sounds like me. And that's what we intentionally want to do that, okay? At the end of that video, you get to say, hey, I look at these tests all day, every day. So these are not intimidating to me. I get that that's not what you do, okay? So if you're seeing things on here that feel like red flags, if you want to review this with me privately, click the button beneath this video and let's go through these together. Okay, you can charge for that lab interpretation session so that you make sure the show up rate on that call is nice and high. And if you want to have a really graceful sales session, you can even take whatever they paid for that session and you can let them apply it to the bigger package of working with you. So let's say you have a $3,000, $5,000 package to work with you for 3 months, and they paid, I don't know, maybe your consultation is 500, but you said, hey, since you bought the lab test funnel, since you bought this lab test through me, I'm going to give you access to interpret the test for a half an hour for just $250. They can apply that $250 to the bigger package of working with you, because psychologically, you guys, people would rather have that cost that they've already sunk into the lab apply to the bigger investment of working with you. And that can make your conversion rate on the call extremely high. Okay, so what we're doing is we're moving, just to give you a visual recap, okay? What we're doing is, instead of waiting until down here, where most of you are probably not nailing this marketing and sales process, so the volume of your lab orders each week is probably relatively low. When we move those labs up here to the top and we invite people, hey, if you're serious about putting this in the rearview mirror, just let your body tell you what's going on. Invest in the test and get the data that you need to make smart decisions. Okay, so now you're now communicating with an audience that has self-identified as committed to solve the problem, willing to pay cash out of pocket, and you have the golden opportunity to be nurturing them between the time when they order and they get the test results back. Okay, any questions about the overall strategy that we're going for here, you guys? Is all that very clear why we're trying to move it up to the front? Because I want to show you what this looks like, and then I want to land the plane and show you how Get Healthy Store makes this really easy for you. Okay. All right, it looks like you guys are all following along with me. So I'm going to go ahead and come back over here. I want you to see one in play, okay? The mistake that some practitioners are making when they hear me share stories of the financial success that people are having around this, okay? What they do is they follow my process and they go, yay, okay, I'm going to do my marketing and I'm going to actually have that symptoms-based conversation that Joy talked about. I'm going to use kitchen table language. I'm going to nail it. This is going to be great. And then when they self-identify as someone who wants the test, they are sending them directly to the lab. Okay? That is skipping all of the business strategy that you need to have in place. All of it. It's skipping all of it. Okay. What goes wrong there is when you send them directly to the lab to do that order, they put their name, email, phone number, address, everything to get the test shipped to them. And also for marketing privileges, all of that is handed over to the lab and they never go to you into your, what's called a CRM, right? Tracey, you use Go High Level, right? So that's an example of a CRM. If you don't know what a CRM is, it stands for Customer Relationship Management, and it is the way that you gather name, email, phone number, and then you send emails to those people. You can send them to landing pages. It's kind of like your online business ecosystem, okay? So what we want to do is we actually don't want to send them directly to the lab. Instead, we want to send them to a page where you fire up their interest in getting this lab. Okay, you confirm that that's what they need. And then they give you, not the lab, but they give you, your business, their name, email, and phone number. Okay, now we're off to the races. Okay, now we can start an automated marketing strategy to these people that works. Okay, so I want you to see what this looks like, because all of us, like, we like to go to the labs and kind of like geek out and, you know, read these very clinical discussions of what's happening in the lab. Lay people don't need that. Like, the common person does not need that. They don't want that. It doesn't serve them in making a buying decision. So what we want to do is actually send them to a page that talks about the problems they have, that recognizes them for the challenges that they're having. That's why we want to send them to a page that looks something like this. Okay. I'm showing you a lab test registration page. This is essentially a page that gets them to give you their name, email, and phone number, okay? This particular landing page has made over $141,000 in top line revenue. This is just one of the lab test funnel that this is from Dr. Jennifer Hawks. This is just one of her lab test funnels, because what happens is when you fire these up, it becomes addictive to have this kind of revenue pouring in from each open funnel. Okay. So she is speaking directly to them. Notice how the avatar call out here at the top is like, hey, for dynamic people ready to unlock their body's full potential. That's not everybody. Okay. So this is not the person who wants to keep living on McDonald's and Red Bull. That's not them. Okay. She's also going straight for what is it that they want. Look at this. Ideal weight. Okay. If I'm overweight, that matters to me. Healthy digestion. Hey, if I'm vacillating between constipation and diarrhea, that matters to me. Okay. All day energy. If I'm living on coffee, that matters to me. So she knows the top 3 things that her people are really, really looking for. And then she's inviting them to get the body systems mineral analysis test, which is a standard HTMA, you guys. Like, she's not doing a custom test. She's just giving it her own unique name. Okay. And that's how she's talking about it in her top of funnel content. Okay. And then she invites them, hey, get instant access to the only hair mineral analysis plus personalized report to understand what's going on here. Okay. And what happens is if they are if there's 4 personality types, you guys, the competitive is going to buy right here at the top of the page, but that's only 9% of the population. Okay. The humanistics, the methodicals, and the spontaneous need a little more information. Okay. They're going to need more story. They need to feel seen, gotten, and heard. And so as you go down this page, you will see that there's a little something for all of the personality styles. Okay. We're going to reach across the divide and say, hey, have you been feeling like this? And we're going to honor all of their complaints. We're just going to talk about them and acknowledge them so they feel seen and heard. And then we're going to put possibility on the table. Hey, what if we could do it? What if we could feel this way instead? Okay. Well, it all starts with getting the data, and we're going to explain the advantages of investing in this test and all the helpful information we're going to give them while they're waiting. And that is what's going to have them pull the trigger to go ahead and purchase the test. Okay. So now what happens when they decide to buy this test? They're going to go to a page, like a pop-up is going to happen that collects their name, email, and phone number. Okay. Once they put this information here, you guys, now the marketing is happening. Now it's off to the races. Okay. We're going to go ahead and start delivering information to them right from the get-go. So in that example, she literally has a video where she's showing you how to, like, you know, hold up your hair and cut just a little bit from the root, and it has to be washed in distilled water and all the things. Like, she's actually on the video explaining you. I did this one because the funnel was so fun to help her create. I was like, ooh, I want to know how my minerals are, right? So I actually got to do it and do the whole hair washing thing and all this good stuff, right? So once they get in there, okay, let me just also show you what it looks like inside the member portal. Okay. Once we're in there, oh, I'm not logged into her portal. What a bummer. Okay, maybe I can get logged in this way. Okay, once we get logged in there, we're gonna see the video of her showing us how to do how to wash the hair before we do the cut, how to do the cut so we're not bald in one spot, right? And then how to send it off, and it's off to the races, okay? And then once she's in there, we get those helpful videos of how to take the test. We get the supportive videos while we're waiting, because that test takes a little while to come back. I think mine was like 10 or 12 days. And so in the interim, I was getting all of this appetizer content from her about the different ways that my mineral profile can affect my metabolics, my hormones, my, what else did she cover in there? I can't remember. It was amazing. Like, I was just like, oh, I didn't even know some of this stuff. And I've been in functional wellness for a really long time. So it was helpful information. And then the final video, she takes me through, okay, if your results look like this, I want to talk about what might be going on, and I want to share some stories of clients where they've been in this same situation. And as I was listening to her, of course, I was like, oh my gosh, that's exactly what I'm experiencing. All of this makes total sense now. And then, of course, at the end of the video, she's inviting me, hey, if you would like, you guys, what's really cool about this, let me see if I have the stats on hers. I think that I do. Okay. On hers, she made $171,000 in top line revenue. Okay. And that was from people who purchased the test. And then they also bought the custom minerals. And then and she had like a 60% conversion rate for people who did the test and then bought the custom minerals. And that's like a $469 sale for her, which but like, I think 60% is cost of goods and 40% goes to her. And then the rest, and then she also had conversion from people who bought the minerals and also wanted to do her group program or work with her privately. So total over $141,000 in top line revenue, and 71,000 of that was gross profit for her. Okay. So that was her one funnel. She also has a GI map funnel that goes in and leads to her functional. Both of these funnel into one program for her, by the way. Her GI map lab test funnel and her hair mineral analysis test funnel both land in the same functional medicine revamp program, which is awesome. So she's got two separate funnels coming in with two different sets of symptoms that all boil down. Okay. Now, there's a couple of things about this that you guys need to know to protect yourselves. Okay. I did a whole conversation with this with Lisa Frawley. If you guys don't know her, DM me over on Instagram. I'm Real Joy Houston at Instagram. I have a slide, so I'll make sure that I'll give you my Instagram at the end. But what you need to understand about doing lab test funnel is this, okay? There is absolutely, positively a divide right here that you have to manage, okay? That divide, this brick wall, is we have prospects over here. So our marketing is always only talking to prospects, right? And what I mean by that is these people, these prospects, they have no agreement with us, right? They haven't waltzed into our clinic and signed new patient paperwork and HIPAA compliance forms and all the things, No, we don't have that agreement with them. They're only prospects. They're strangers to us, okay? Once they cross the barrier and they come into our world, okay, now that's a completely different ball of wax. Okay. Once they come over here, they're either going to have agreements for us to work with us one-on-one. They're going to have agreements for like a private coaching. Some of you do private, like this is in person. And then some of you do like private coaching online. When we're in the national capacity outside of our state, we're probably doing coaching or consulting. And then we also have both our live group programs. Okay. And then we also have our DIY self-study. Okay. At any point when they buy this, they're signing specific forms that dictate the terms of your medical care. When they join a private coaching, same thing. As soon as they buy, when they do the checkout form, they're clicking the box to agree to your terms. When they enroll in a coach in a program, well, they're ticking a little box at checkout, right? So when they do their credit card, there is a little box that they have to check that signs the terms that are approved by the FTC, right? Because the FTC considers your online group programs education and entertainment for the purpose of navigating their own health journey, okay? So they have to tick that box before they pay you. In that side of the brick wall, everything is financially clear, okay? So when they're over here on the marketing side right here, we don't know what our agreement with them is going to be because we have no arrangement. They're complete strangers, okay? Once they're on our side of the brick wall, they've decided, I'm either going to buy this or I'm going to buy this or I'm going to buy this, right? They've made a choice, and in paying us, there is a clear agreement. Why is that important, you guys? That is important because when we're using labs in our top of funnel marketing, okay, so do you remember that funnel where we dragged it up to the top? Right here, okay? So when we do this, when we pull labs up here to the top of our marketing, that means that we are offering labs to strangers, okay? I don't know about you, but I'm not willing to order a bunch of labs for strangers. Okay, give me some yes in the chat if you're with me. Okay, amen. We do not want to be ordering on our own license a bunch of lab tests for strangers. Exactly, April. That would be really, really stranger. Yes, stranger danger. Exactly. Okay, you guys you're picking up what I'm putting down. Luckily for all of us, it is a multi-billion-dollar industry to offer labs direct to consumers, Okay, so the direct to consumer labs, it's a thing, people. Like, it is happening. If I want to order, as a matter of fact, I have ordered a GI map for my son direct, right? You can order labs direct without a practitioner. So if we think that we're the only gateway to getting those, we are absolutely wrong. Okay, so in order to combat what's happening with all of this direct to consumer access to testing, labs such as Evexia. Okay, so now I want your ears to perk up because Evexia is already tied into your GetHealthy store. Okay, Tracey just showed us that at the beginning, right? Evexia has made it possible for you to order testing through a signing physician. Okay, what does that mean? That means all of those tests are not ordered on your license, on your certification. It's ordered through a signing physician. Okay, that makes it okay to order labs for the stranger danger. Okay, that makes it possible for us to compete with direct to consumer lab offers. Okay, so you can order labs for people on the other side of that brick wall, the ones who are still strangers, without it being on your license or your certification through a signing physician. Okay, then that way you're only ordering labs. So you can order labs on your license and continue to do that, but you would only want to do that for people who had engaged in the one-on-one client with you piece, right? So remember when I was showing you this? Okay, we only want to be ordering labs on our license for people who have decided to be in our one-on-one care. Everybody else, like group coaching, live group programs, DIY, even these strangers over here that haven't even gotten into our world yet, all of those people would be ordered through a signing physician to protect you, to protect us. Does that make sense? Okay, so now that means we can go out and we can have sent to our email list, in our social media content, over on YouTube. We can have top of funnel education that says, hey, did you wake up in cold sweats last night? I got good news for you. You're not dying. Okay, you're probably not dying. It could be as simple as a hormone imbalance. This can start to happen to women. Let's talk about that. Then in talking about that, you can invite them to get whatever test you believe. You love the ZRT, you love Dutch Complete, you love what, it doesn't matter to me, right? You can do a simple blood test if you want, okay? You can invite them to take a peek at the data that their body will show them if they invest in this kind of testing. And then while they're waiting for the test results, you show up and shine like only you can. And then when they watch that interpretation video that walks them through what do the indicators on the test mean, if they want to meet with you, they click the button below your video and they book a paid session with you to interpret the results. You can then roll that interpretation fee into whatever package or group program or DIY self-study course that you would like to sell to them. Okay? Here's the thing. When I showed you that page for Jennifer, okay, so let's go back and take a look at it together. I want you to see how this could work for your, how GetHealthy Store can simplify this for you, okay? So let me bring up her sales page. Oh, here's another one. Let's look at this one. Yay. Okay, great. We'll look at a different one so you guys can see multiple examples, okay? This one is also this is a hugely successful funnel too, okay? So when this button gets clicked, okay, so when people come to your page, that makes it exciting for them. This is a good example because we were just talking about hormones, right? So if we go to this page, hormone optimization testing, okay? When they click this button, you can go ahead and collect name, email, phone number. In Tracey's case, this would be going into her Go High Level account, okay? So now all of these people are in her CRM, which means the automated emails can start. They're gonna get an email that says, hey, you're one smart gluten-free cookie for ordering this test. Let's go ahead and get you right into the member portal I've made for you. It's gonna show you a video of exactly how to take the test. Okay, so that's already happened for you. Now your business structure is working like it should. Okay, we've not sent them directly over to the lab. We've actually put those name, email, phone numbers for all of those hot prospects into your world, and they're now going to start getting emails to deliver the video to take the test, the 3 little appetizers for how awesome it is to work with you when they buy that full meal, and then the interpretation video, which is of course going to invite them to book on a call and have the introduction to go over that with you, right? And of course, when they hear you interpret the results, then you have like, you guys have a sales booster, right? So like, if you're already good at enrolling people on a call, imagine how much easier that call is going to be if they and you both have in front of you their lab test results that are showing, oh my God, something is going on here, right? Like, we definitely need to take action. So when you already have those lab results with them, there's a lot less convincing that needs to happen, because they already see for themselves like, oh man, yeah, there's definitely something going on here. Okay. So once they click that button, give you name, email, phone number, your part of the business is already going. It's already working for you, okay, to work towards converting them. Now, here's where most people struggle. After they hit that button, they're going to land on an order form to take the orders. And then you, the practitioner, would have to put those orders into the lab system. Does that sound like a pain in the butt? It might not sound like a pain in the butt if you get like 5 labs a day. You're like, okay, that's no problem. I could download the CSV file, could upload this to Evexia. It's not that big of a deal. It will probably take me 20 minutes, okay? What if you didn't have to do that, okay? What if you could just have, when they, after they give name, email, phone number and hit the button, they go straight to your Evexia page with only that lab test on it. And all they have to do is put in their information, hit the button, take the money, and then you actually receive your payouts from GetHealthy store in the same way you do for all of your other sales that you make through your GetHealthy store. Okay. Now, it doesn't sound like that much work to do this manually. Okay. But in that example with Jennifer that I was showing you with the hair mineral analysis test, that was 181 test sales. Okay. That's a lot of test sales to manually enter. Okay. You don't want to be doing that. Okay. So the frustrating part, the hard part, the clerical part of like, oh my God, I got all of this business. Now I need to upload all of that business into Evexia or whoever you're using, right? And now I need to upload all of that business. What a pain in the booty to do that. No pain in the booty. Pain is gone. Okay. You're going to take name, email, phone number. They're going to hit the continue button. They're going to land in your GetHealthy store. Okay. And it might even help, Tracey, if we just show them where they land, like just pull that, if we could see that, like the one where we had the Dutch test. So imagine they put in their name, their email, their phone number. Now your marketing has begun. Okay. So now you're off the hook as a health entrepreneur. You've actually done the right thing instead of sending them directly over to the lab where you don't have, your business doesn't have any leg to stand on to market them. Okay. So you've done right by your business. They click continue to step 2 after they put name, email, phone number. Here is exactly where that button takes them to this page on your GetHealthy store. And game over. There's no needing to put that person's name, email, birth date, all the things into Evexia's system later. It's just going directly into your GetHealthy store. So from the button on your page, they land in your GetHealthy store. So it would go from them seeing this form where they put name, email, phone number, and then they would land there on that form that she's showing you. So here, I'll make it bigger. They would put their name, email, phone number. As a health business entrepreneur, you have completed your obligation to do right by your business and get these people into your CRM where you can market to them. Okay. As soon as they hit that pink go to step 2 button, now let's show them that page, Tracey. They would land here in your GetHealthy store. Once they pay, the order's already in at Evexia. Your job is done. And the whole rest of the process is automated all the way through emails that have them watch how to take the test, those 3 appetizers of how awesome it is when they buy the whole meal of working with you, and then the test explanation video where they get excited to get on the interpretation call with you. Okay. Now, are all of those people going to book an interpretation call with you? No. And you know what? That's really, really good because I bet you have had those frustrating days where you or someone on your team's time has been totally wasted because you got ghosted by losers who are not serious about turning their health around. Okay. I bet you have wasted hours on calls with people who don't realize the cash investment that it takes to work with you. Okay. So you filtered out for those two different kinds of people, you filtered those people out. So if they don't book a call with you, good, because they weren't going to buy with you anyways, right? The people who do book a call with you were a cash pay client willing to invest in their own testing. They saw your video. They liked the 3 appetizers that you served up, and they're hungry for the meal that you have to serve them. So the quality of those leads, just to give you an idea, okay, when practitioners, and these are the practitioners that I have managed to get their selling skills up, okay, their average close rate on their call between like people not showing and all that good stuff was under 30%. Okay. After lab test funnel, the calls with prospects that have gone through this lab test funnel, over 70%. So a close rate of less than 30 or a close rate of over 70. Like, which one of those things do we want? Obviously over 70, right? If we could get on calls and convert 70% of those people into a package to work with us one-on-one, our live rolling evergreen group program, or if we could at least recoup the cost of the call and our time and marketing by selling them into our DIY program, like a self-study course that you have for them, you guys, that is a financial model that is ramping up. You know what I mean? That's how my practitioners get so successful so quickly and start to have revenue that works for them while they're on vacation, while they're sleeping, while they're at their kids' ballet class or baseball game, right? Is because this machine is working for them 24/7. And then during the hours that they're open and taking sales calls or doing consults, they're interacting with people who have been filtered out through this process. So that's how the lab test funnel works. There's a few things I want to make sure you guys know. First of all, I'm super approachable, so I want to make sure that you guys know how to reach me on Instagram in case you guys have questions about this. Tracey and I are friends too. So if there's anything that you guys ask her and she doesn't know how to answer, she's just going to hit me up and make sure that that we get your questions answered. But I want to make sure that you guys know how to reach me. And I even want to give you a cheat sheet. Okay. So let me just put this on screen for you in case you need it. Okay. That's my Instagram. There's a wedding dress designer in Houston named Joy who already had my name. So I'm real Joy Houston. Okay. And if this is something that you want to put on your radar and you want to think about filtering, like going to market with symptoms-based conversation, offering the labs, using the lab test funnel to filter for cash pay clients, and then having a much higher close rate on the back end, I have a cheat sheet that can help you get started with that. So you can DM me, just follow me there, DM me, let me know what you're thinking about leading with. If it's a test that I know doesn't sell well, I'll tell you, I won't sugarcoat it, okay? And then I can give you a cheat sheet so that you can start thinking through, is this for me? Is this something that I want to get started, okay? Because you are a Get Healthy store fan, like I am, you need to know that the most difficult and complicated part of this is handled for you. And that is the automated orders through Evexia. Now, some of you might be intimidated by, wait a minute, Joy, like I saw that landing page, the hormone page, I saw the hair mineral analysis page. There was a lot of copywriting on that page. There was a lot of messaging on that page. And I suck at that. I don't like it. It's not something I enjoy. You don't have to worry about that. If you choose to do lab test funnel with my help, you guys can replicate this process, by the way. You don't need me. You don't need any of that. Okay. But we have built the lab test funnel so that the pages for the funnel are already built out on Go High Level. So that is the registration page. Remember the lab page that I showed you. It is all of the automations. So the all automated emails that fire. It's your little mini member portal. That's where you get to deliver those cool videos about how do I take the test, and then little appetizer of what it's like to work with you videos, and then a test interpretation video. Okay. So we show you how to do all of that, film all of that. Okay. And then if you want to, like there's lots of different ways you can take the money. I want you guys to take the money for the lab test through Get Healthy Store because it's the least technically challenging. It's the easiest way for you to do it. If that whole process sounds completely intimidating to you, just know that we've built the entire funnel for you. It's built already, ready to customize. We've built an entire AI bot and a set of prompts that ask you questions to pull out of you the people that you serve, the objectives you help them achieve, so that all of those, the lab registration page, it's automated. So we give you AI and you just answer the questions and it's going to spit out content that's going to be, let's be honest, probably 90-95% of the way there. And then you're going to use that other 5 to 10% to add your personality, your sparkle, the unique way that you talk about things. And then you're going to have your own lab registration page. Okay. So if you're intimidated by that process, just know that we've already built it for you. We've already spent hundreds of thousands of client ad dollars in sending to those pages to figure out what works, how much copy can go on the page, how small or big does the headline need to be, where should the button be. We've already tested the heck out of that. We're giving you the final tested version that is converting insanely well right now for other practitioners. Okay. So this is my absolute favorite funnel that is converting right now. So before I hand this back over to Tracey, I know some of you are overwhelmed. I know some marketing doesn't tend to be you guys' favorite thing, okay? But I want to give you a little sneak peek behind the scenes in the marketing world about why this is working so well, okay? Algorithms are designed to do exactly what we designed them to do. Okay. So algorithms on social media and for online content are now so good that if you go around putting out content that does nothing but make free offers in your top of funnel content, okay? If you're not super marketing familiar, you guys, top of funnel marketing is for people who don't know you, they're just finding you for the first time. Middle of funnel marketing is for when they're starting to get to know you and getting interested. And then bottom of funnel marketing is where they're close to buying, okay? Tofu, mofu, bofu, top of funnel, middle of funnel, bottom of funnel, okay? When we put out content in our top of funnel marketing, the algorithms can be so good at saying, oh, okay, what Joy is trying to do is put out all this content and then she wants people who opt in for free things. The algorithms can go out and find me people who will opt in for free things, okay? If we take into consideration that less than 3% of people who download something for free actually open it and read it, that's not really very good for us, is it? Okay, so what we want to do is put out really good content that invites them to make a small purchase. Okay, because then the algorithms will do something different. It will say, okay, Joy's putting out really good content and she's looking for people who would like people to make a small investment towards what they're trying to do. And the algorithm will get really good at that. So what we can inadvertently do if we always put out content and only offer freebies, free checklists, free webinars, free calls, free, everything is free, then what we become in the online space is a brand that is attracting, pulling in people who want free things. And that's not good for you in the long run. Okay, so positioning an invitation to buy a lab toward the top of your marketing instead of waiting for the bottom is actually going to have the algorithms bring you people who are more likely to buy instead of just download free stuff. Okay, it's going to have you have conversations with people who are self-identifying as cash pay clients, and it's going to also have the data in their hand and yours that kind of shows they need to take some action, which explains why that conversion rate shoots from less than 30 to over 70. And that's what I want for you. All right. Sorry, my dog wants to kill someone. All right. I think that process is clear. But just like you guys, I can get into the weeds and be talking too deeply about marketing things that you guys don't understand. So I want to make sure this is opened up for questions in case any of this process, any piece or part of this process is not clear to you.
Well, that was incredible. There are some questions in the chat, so I wanted to make sure that we address those as well before we end. And I know we're over a little bit, guys, so thanks for hanging out with us. And if you do need to jump, you can. I did put the link to Joy's course teaching for the lab test funnel in the chat, so that's there. Make sure you grab it. It's incredible and so incredibly priced too. I mean, affordable as it can be. I also wanted to just talk a little bit about that fee that Joy was talking about. We actually created a miscellaneous fee for you that will automatically appear at the cart level. So they don't see it when they hit the page, But this resource and education fee, lab interpretation fee, whatever you want to call it, will be added at the cart level, and you can put your price on it. So Dutch,
Mhm.
this is the price for the test, and then we have the additional fees. Shipping is standard through Evexia. That's tagged on if it's a specialty test. And then this is the additional fee that goes into my pocket, right? So you can make that whatever, 50, 100, 200. If you want it to be an interpretation fee, an analysis fee, happy to look at your test fee, you can name it whatever you want. So,
But do name it in addition with what you're going to deliver. So if you're just going to deliver like some supportive email, like emails and videos, that kind of thing, education and resource fee is a great title. Don't call it interpretation fee unless you're going to include an interpretation of that test from you in some way, shape, or form, whether that's analysis in a spreadsheet that you send to them, or you're going to do a call. Some people like to tack on the lab test and the education and resource fee, and then it doesn't take any of their time. That's my favorite because that's 100% scalable, money coming in for you while you're sleeping. Okay. Others prefer to charge for the lab plus an initial like half an hour per 20-minute like an interpretation time. Please don't call it an interpretation fee because you will get those crabby consumers who will hold you to actually doing an interpretation for them, and you don't want to be stuck with that. So only label it an interpretation fee if you are going to provide an interpretation. I don't recommend that as a marketing strategy. I like you to protect yourself. So just charge an education and resource fee and give some good helpful information, and then charge a separate interpretation fee. And that only puts you using your precious time with people who are like, yeah, I'm in and I see something is wrong and I really want to talk to this person. I prefer to protect your time even more.
right. So, second, she talked about the nurturing behind the entire system. You don't necessarily have to use softwares that, I use or anyone else. What I will say is the Get Healthy store is equipped to Magic Link Connect to go high level. And also we have an integration with Active Campaign. So right now that might not mean much to you, but it's like a trigger. So when someone buys the Dutch test from my store, if I have that set up to trigger a nurturing campaign in my Go High level system, then it automatically does that. So as soon as somebody buys it, do you guys ever get that? You buy something and it's like, bing, right in your email is like, oh, thanks, Trace, for your purchase. And you're like, dang, you guys are fast, right? That's an sequence that's already pre-built and set up, and it triggers when you do something. And I can pick those triggers, like when they add it to the cart, when they buy it, when it's been sitting there for 3 days. Triggers like a shopping cart reminder that you get from Amazon is an automation, right? So when you get distracted with the kids or you get a phone call and you forget to process your cart, a couple days later, it's like, oh, hey, Tracy, don't you want to buy this? And I was like, oh, yes, I do. Like, thanks for the reminder. So all of this stuff is really meant to help you be able to scale your time, because the biggest problem in our industry is time. We
Yeah.
run out of ourselves, we run out of the ability to help many people. We can only take so many people. What this allows is somebody to kind of DIY their health with your guidance, with your expertise, making you the ambassador of their health without even meeting you. And then because you have multiple product categories on your Get Healthy store, you can start linking in those nurturing sequences all the products that would help. Like Joy was saying, like branch basics, easy. We have branch basics in the store. You add it from your catalog to your store, and now you hyperlink to that product page and you say, hey, I know you're waiting on your Dutch test results, but while you wait, you might want to consider healthier cleaning products and lowering those
Yep.
xenoestrogens. Here's a link to go check out branch basics on my store, and here's a coupon, right? So you have that ability here at Get Healthy store level. The other thing that Joy was talking about was programs where someone's going to come and pay you a lump sum of money up front. So maybe that's your final CTA and you want to get this person into a program with you and they're going to bite. But in that program, you offered them maybe some products, like $200
Yeah.
product. Well, we now have the functionality to create gift card credits for your clients in your store, which means if Joy bought my program and I said, hey, Joy, when you purchase, you get $200 worth of product credit, I can actually put that into the store, allow her to use it multiple times across the cart so it depletes, right? So maybe she uses 25 over here for the bundle that I suggest, and then over here she wants some personal care items and she uses 50. And so she keeps this credit. Or I can make it for single use where she can only use it once. So too bad for you, Joy, if you don't use it all. I select the person. I make a note for my team. This is Joy. She's awesome. So we gave her credit to my store. And then that just sits there virtually for her until she uses it. Then in your nurturing sequence, it's up to you to tell her what to buy. Don't forget to use your credit, Joy, for $200 to go buy this Branch Basics bundle, because that's going to be the first thing that's going to help stabilize your hormones. So this is how it works. This is what everyone is pushing towards, because we know there's 7.8 billion people in this world and we can't sit with everyone in the chair, but they need your brain. So between what Get Healthy has created for you and Joy's brilliance on how to make it all work together, that's what that lab test funnel link is about in the chat. So if you're interested, click on it, learn how to do this. I will tell you to revolutionize your practice. You're going to get more people in the chair. You're going to get more satisfied customers. I'm personally doing it myself, and I can see all my team members on here like, wow, this is amazing, you know. So I always try to do what we promote here at Get Healthy. So I do have Go High Level. I magic link connected it to my store, and we're going to launch our first lab test funnel with Joy's help. And then I can come back with some real statistics, but I don't want people to get overwhelmed. That's why you
Yeah.
join for a process, so that you have some access and you can talk and get some help.
Yeah, and it's honestly like if anybody who decided to do a lab test funnel, I will tell you that you will learn how to maximize your Get Healthy store, because the crazy thing that she just mentioned is like, oh, let's say the Branch Basics example, and then we can link them through to get that product there. I see your Get Healthy store as something that you should be linking to that from your top of funnel marketing posts and your blog posts and your YouTube videos. Like, oh, if you mention a product, why wouldn't you add that link to your Get Healthy store and earn that for your business? I don't know why you wouldn't do that. So those links should be included in your marketing, in your sales process, in your fulfillment process. It should be in your nurture sequences. Like, you guys, if you're giving tips, if you're mentioning products, all of those things should be linking to your Get Healthy store. If you're smart enough to understand that you need a Get Healthy store so that you have your own e-commerce world, then, I want to make sure that you're fully empowered to use links to products in that store at every single step of the marketing journey, sales journey, and fulfillment journey of what you offer. It's essential. You guys have made it so easy over there, Tracey. Like, I don't know why they wouldn't. And I'm happy to support that too. Like, if you guys want to have a conversation about, hey, what should my nurture sequence look like in a way that I'm actually making money from prospects that aren't even my clients yet, like, let's roll out and do that, because Get Healthy Store makes it easier than anything I've ever seen online.
Thanks. It was a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. And finally, we're getting it
Yeah.
right. Because, I was talking to Joy earlier. I know you guys have processes with scripting, testing, and all that, and that's great. But this is new for you. This is a marketplace of testing. And as Joy was saying, and I think the industry is going more towards a DIY model. People want
Yeah.
to have the results, they want to have the control, they want to be able to make reflective choices, they want to understand the data. We just do not have that time all the time. So
Yep.
create it once and sell it often, you will scale. So I'm really excited about this. This is probably one of the most exciting launches that we've done with the exposed lab test, and working with you. When I met you, your energy, just everything about you, I was like, I just love this girl, and I didn't even know you. So I loved you anyway. So I'm really excited that you're here to teach us, how to, be more marketable, because we didn't get it,
Yeah.
Joy. We got in this to
I
help people.
know. I
Now we
get it. I totally understand that. More time healing, less time hustling. That's what I'm all about. But if there's one thing for you guys to take away from today, it's that people are drowning in information. Okay. So it's not enough for you to just go out there and provide information. You need to be the voice that helps them take the first step in implementation. So if you're the brand that goes beyond information and helps them take one step toward implementation, the change that they need. And for most of us, we want them to start with a test, right? Because we don't want them doing anything that doesn't apply to them. We want them to know for sure that what we have for them is something that they need. That generally starts with testing. So that's why this is working so well, is because it moves beyond information from you and gets them in partnership, because healing is a two-part piece, right? You can put the protocol in front of somebody, but they don't follow it, they're not going to get results. So right from the beginning of your marketing, you're saying to the world, I have the answer, meet me, and let's do this together, right? Because you're forcing them to be taking a step in implementation. That's the big takeaway I would say from today.
Yeah. So get your Evexia account, get a
Yes.
take Joy's course. Those are your action items walking out of here, your assignment, and start, slowly. You don't have to do everything all at once, but make sure you're committed to doing one great thing. Ryan Obenator over at Evexia always says, spend at least a day or so a week working on your business rather than just in your business. And I took that to heart and I was like, you know what? We need a day where we work on our business, where we work on the branding, on the marketing, have the meetings. And I know if you're a one-stop shop and it's all you, it can be a little overwhelming, but I promise you her class makes it so easy. So, they're asking, does the course include the funnel or do they have to pay for the funnel? I think what
It's
they're
included.
Yeah, included meaning the content is there and you can put it in any marketing software you like, unless I'm mistaken on that, because Go High Level
So
isn't,
yeah,
yeah, or
Yeah,
other.
we've built the funnel completely for you on Go High Level and on Kartra. And for those of you who are like, I'm old school, I like Infusionsoft, or I like ClickFunnels, or I like whatever, like we're agnostic. So basically, we've built an entire what's called a full funnel flow chart, and it links you through to exactly how you want to make the page look on any platform that you like. So we have it completely built, as in color by numbers. You're going to swap out your picture for a placeholder picture, that kind of thing. Or you're going to see exactly the full funnel flow chart and you're going to be taken to a link to see how each page should look, and you could build it on any platform that you like.
Yep. Yeah, so
Yeah.
not essential to have, all of the things that are
No.
integrated with Go High Level, or excuse me, with Get Healthy, but if you want a trigger response, if you don't want to have to take the list and put it into something and do something else. So for example, I did a funnel with you, Joy, right? And I had Go High Level. Now Joy corrected me because she's like, you didn't fill out the emails, but lucky your husband saved me by putting some content in there because we didn't know the emails were turned on. So, rookie mistake. But here's the thing. From that, I got over 180 contacts that I now have started to nurture. The power of that is amazing. Just to capture those people, whether or not they buy anything, bought the test, whatever, they're now in my network that I can continue to talk to. And so that's what we want to do. You want to be able to capture people and continue the conversation because, you meet someone at a party one time, you get their phone number, you're not getting married the next day. You got to talk to them. You got to give them a call. Hey, what's going on? How you doing? How was your day? What are you interested in? Etc. You have to find out. And so this is a relationship with your clients and you. So guys, thank you so much. Joy, do you want to give us any parting words or any other questions you need to answer?
I just want to make sure that you guys realize what Get Healthy Store has done for you. Okay. Because most of you, without their help, would have to get something like Shopify and do a build out on those platforms. And you guys, I have helped multi-million dollar brands do that. And those can be hundreds of thousands of dollars of investment to get a really rock solid e-commerce store where you can sell so many different things, supplements and testing and saunas and ranch basics, like what they have set up for you. I just really want to make sure that you guys are aware of how much money and time and challenge that they have solved you by essentially doing it for all of us, right? So they kind of did an e-commerce store build out for all of us. And they actually already made the relationships with all of these different brands, the red light sauna people, the branch basics people, Cellcore, for God's sake. Like that's hard to get navigated into your business. Evexia already tied into your business. They've basically gone out and made you an e-commerce platform formed for you. And we all, as a community, get to tap into the power of that one integrated e-commerce store. It is mind blowing that it has been done, because collectively, if we just take all the people on the call today, if all of us had to pay to open our own e-commerce store and have it built and get all the affiliate tie-ins and Zapier tie it into Evexia on the back end, collectively we would be spending millions of dollars for each one of us to do that. And instead they've done it, okay, as a family we've all built this e-commerce store and we all get to plug in and use it. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. So I'm really grateful what they've done for you. I want to help you guys in supporting and maximizing it, because my only fear is you've got a Lamborghini and you're like driving it around in first gear. You don't know how to actually monetize everything that they've built for you. So let's just agree to stay in the conversation, and let's get Lab Test Funnel up and going for you guys, because it's converting really well. It'll stop you from growing an audience of freebie seekers that will constantly tire kick and waste your time. Okay. So I want that for you. But then let's just circle back as a family and like, let's get, how do we maximize Get Healthy Store from our nurture sequences? How can we maximize Get Healthy Store from our blog posts? Like, let's just stay in the conversation together and make sure you're maximizing what they've built for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Joy. And guys, if you don't have a store and you want a free demo, we offer that. No obligation. You can actually sit with a real person, go through your business structure. Is this the right fit? I mean, we start our stores at $99 a month and you get everything that you saw here, like so cheap. So I know we don't want all these tech fees. I get it. Like I have a billion tech fees, but that is what it is. And so as you get good at this, you can cut down on all the other things that are disconnected from one experience that you're walking people through and to. So Joy, you're amazing as always. Thank you so much. And everybody, thank you for being here. We will
Thanks, everyone.
be back. All right, guys, have a great day. And I hope that you enjoyed this webinar. See you later.
Bye. Thanks, Tracey.
Thank you.